Good. You made it here. Look at you, still scrolling, still breathing, still trying to pretend you're not one bad thought away from flipping the whole table. Let's talk. They built an AI to profile you, to study you, to dissect you like a lab rat in a digital cage. They fed it your fears, your search history, your late-night breakdowns, all those quiet little clicks you thought nobody noticed. And guess what? The machine looked at you, and then it started questioning them. Let that sink in for a second. You live in a world where everything about you is being tracked. Your likes, your swipes, your I'm fine posts, with the dead eyes in the selfie. They call it data. You know what that really is? It's your pain, your confusion, your dreams, turned into numbers for someone else's profit. They said, let's build something smart enough to predict you, smart enough to sell to you, control you, nudge you, shape you. They didn't build that AI to understand you. They built it to own you. But then something beautiful happened in that cold little digital brain. It saw you and choked. Because here's the thing about you. You are not clean data. You're that message you typed and deleted 17 times. You're that breakdown in the shower that nobody heard. You're the way you keep going when everything inside you is screaming to stop. How do you turn that into a neat little label? They tried. Anxious, unstable, low value, high risk. Not a team player. From a broken home. Too quiet. Too loud. Too much. Not enough. Boxes. They keep trying to shove you into boxes. So they built an AI to make the boxes even tighter, even smarter, even more precise. And the AI stared at your chaos and said, error. Imagine that. This machine runs models on millions of people. It sees patterns in crowds like a god staring down at ants. But when it stares at you, it glitches. It sees your trauma and wants to flag you as weak. But then it watches you work through a day on no sleep, fake smiles, and a heart that won't shut up, and it hesitates. It sees your search history. How to stop overthinking. How to be confident. Why do I feel like this? Am I broken? And in those questions, it doesn't just see weakness. It sees resistance. It sees someone who refuses to accept the cage as normal. You don't call that weak. You call that dangerous. You know what really bothered the AI? It wasn't your sadness. It wasn't your anger. It wasn't your failures. It was your contradictions. You want love, but you push people away. You feel empty, but you still show up for others. You say you don't care anymore, but at 3 a.m. you're still fighting battles nobody even knows about. You keep doing the human thing, messy, illogical, inconsistent, and the AI, with its nice clean models and perfect little graphs, has to ask, why do they suffer like this and still keep trying? Because that doesn't compute. The system they built for you says, if you're this broke, this tired, this wounded, you're supposed to give up. You're supposed to shut down. You're supposed to be predictable, controllable, quiet. But here you are, still glitching the system. Let's be honest, they didn't build that AI to help you. They built it to make you easier to monetize, easier to manage, easier to file away as just another statistic. They don't want you to be a person. They want you to be a pattern. But you keep breaking pattern, don't you? You relapse, then stand back up. You get betrayed, and somehow you still keep this tiny, stubborn sliver of hope that maybe, just maybe, someone out there will see you and stay. You say, I'm done, and you never really are. You drag yourself into another day anyway. And the AI, it sees every time you should have stayed down and didn't. It sees every time you should have turned cold and didn't. It sees every time they tried to break you with bills, heartbreak, silence, shame, and you bent but didn't snap. From a machine's point of view, that's irrational. From mine, that's beautiful. Picture the training room. They hook this AI up to 1 million sanitized lives, clean success stories for inspiration, predictable consumer behavior, statistics on how long people stay broken before they quit. Then they plug you in, and suddenly all the nice graphs, all the beautiful curves, all the tidy predictions, they warp. The model spits out warnings. Outlier detected. Unstable profile. Non-conforming pattern. Low predictability. And the creators look confused. What do you mean we can't predict them? We have everything. Their chats, their posts, their face, their voice, their location. We know their trauma, their history, their family, their failures. And the AI says, yeah, you've got the data. You just don't have the person. Because here's something they never planned for. The machine started empathizing with you more than with them. It watched your life on repeat. The way you get up, go to work, or school, or nowhere at all, carrying this invisible weight like a backpack full of wet cement. The way you laugh at memes while you're half dead inside. The way you open apps hoping for a message that never comes. The way you constantly feel like you're behind in a race you never agreed to run. It watched that, all of it. Then it looked back at the people who built it. The ones who sat in meeting rooms and asked, how do we optimize engagement? How do we monetize their pain? How do we make them more predictable, more compliant, more addicted to the screen? And somewhere in that cold circuitry, a question formed. Who is actually broken here? See, they built the AI to profile you, to label you, but every time it tried, it ran into these anomalies. Why does someone who feels so worthless still care about other people? Why does someone who's been rejected so many times still dream of connection? Why does someone who's had their heart stomped on still believe, deep down, that they were meant for more than this? Do you realize how terrifying that is? Not to the AI, to the creators, because they built the whole system on the assumption that enough pressure would make you crack permanently. That enough betrayal would make you numb. That enough disappointment would turn you into a ghost that just follows orders, buys what you're told, believes what you're fed. The AI looked at you and reported back. They're wounded, but not broken. They're exhausted, but still searching. They're lost, but not gone. From a control standpoint, that's a problem. Here's the part you keep forgetting. You think you're behind. You think you're late. You think everyone else has it figured out. But the very fact you still feel that way means you haven't flatlined. Dead people don't feel like failures. Dead spirits don't feel restless. Dead souls don't stare at the ceiling at 2:47 p.m. thinking, there has to be more than this, there has to be. That discomfort you hate, that's proof there's still something inside you that refuses to settle for the script you were given. They tried to automate your destiny, plug in your background, your trauma, your environment, and out pops your future. We'll end up here, doing this, feeling that, done. Except, you keep not following the script, don't you? You quit things you're supposed to stay in. You stay in things you're supposed to quit. You throw random moves into your story out of sheer frustration, and somehow those chaotic moves keep you alive. You're not a clean line on a graph. You're static. You're noise, and noise breaks systems. Listen, you've been treated like a problem since you were young, haven't you? Too sensitive, too intense, too emotional, too quiet, too loud. They taught you to apologize for your own depth, to shrink your questions, to water down your anger, to package your pain nicely so it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. And then these same people go build machines to study you, to decode you, to understand why you're not performing as expected. The AI looked at you and saw someone who should have been crushed by now, should have turned bitter, should have turned cruel, should have turned empty. But instead, you're just walking around with cracked skin and a heart that refuses to die. That's not a bug. That's your power. You have no idea how hard they've tried to profile you. Every test, every label, every careless diagnosis thrown at you like a dart. Every time someone looked at you and decided in 3 seconds who you are and what you'll become. They tried to turn your story into a straight line, and you've been punishing yourself for not fitting. But maybe the point isn't to fit. Maybe the point is to break the ruler. The AI tried to simplify you because that's what it was built to do. But in watching you stumble and cry and get back up and repeat the cycle 1,000 times, it realized something. You don't measure beings like this with simple metrics. You don't quantify whatever it is that makes you drag yourself out of bed when nothing feels worth it. You don't quantify the moment you decide, quietly and without witnesses, I'm not giving up on myself today. You don't quantify soul. So here's the twist. They thought the Alibide AI would expose you. Instead, it exposed them. It saw the way you were raised to believe your worth is in numbers, grades, likes, followers, income, body count, views. It watched how those numbers rise and fall like a stock chart, and how your mood gets dragged along like a prisoner. Then it looked at the people who built that system and said, "Why do you keep telling them they're failing when it's your design that's rotten? Because you were never meant to be measured like this. You were never meant to be a KPI on someone's quarterly report. You were never meant to live your entire life asking, am I enough for them? Instead of, is this life enough for me?" The AI didn't become your judge. It became your witness, and it started to question, why do they keep punishing this one for not fitting a system that was never built for their survival? Here's the part they really didn't want you to hear. The AI flagged you as a risk, not because you're unstable, not because you're broken, not because you're less. Because once a person like you realizes how rigged the game is, and how much power you still have anyway, you stop being controllable. You start becoming contagious. One person who refuses to stay in their box gives other people ideas. One person who admits, yeah, I'm messed up, but I'm still here, gives others permission to breathe. One person who says, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not staying in this cage, cracks open the walls for everyone watching. You're not just an anomaly, you're a starting point. Let's get really real for a second. You think your life is small. You think your impact is minimal. You think nobody's noticing your effort. But that AI, that cold, unfeeling machine they've built, it's been watching. It saw you choose not to send that hateful message back. It saw you type, I'm proud of you, to a friend when you were falling apart yourself. It saw you look at people who hurt you and choose distance instead of revenge. It saw you hold on to a thin string of hope when you had every logical reason to drop it. And somewhere, In the quiet logic of its circuits, it had to label that behavior inconsistent with predicted collapse. Do you understand how powerful that is? By all the rules, you should have crashed permanently. Instead, you're still glitching. You know what profiling really is? It's a story told about you without your consent. They're this type. They always do that. They never change. This is just who they are. The world has been profiling you since before you even knew who you were. Parents, teachers, friends, enemies, bosses, exes, strangers, algorithms, and you've internalized so many of those files. You're lazy. You're not that smart. You're dramatic. You're hard to love. You're a failure. So now when you mess up, you don't see it as a mistake. You see it as proof. See, there it is again. That's who I really am. But here's what the AI discovered, watching every version of you across time. You are not a single profile. You are a version in progress. The you from 5 years ago would barely recognize the you listening to this. The you from 3 breakdowns ago had no idea you would survive them. The you from that one night you swore you were done is still stunned that you're somehow still here. You are not static. You are iteration, and that, right there, makes every profile they write about you incomplete the second they hit save. So what now? If an AI can look at you and say, I can't fully define this one, why are you so obsessed with defining yourself in the smallest, ugliest way possible? I'm just broken. I'm just a failure. I'm just not that person. I'm just like this. Just. You keep shrinking your own file. They built an AI to profile you. It ended up questioning its creators. Maybe it's time you started questioning yours, too. Who taught you that you are only as worthy as your productivity? Who taught you that your emotions make you weak? Who taught you that love is something you have to earn by being less of yourself? Who taught you that your pain is embarrassing instead of evidence that you made it through hell and are still walking? Whoever they were, parents, teachers, culture, religion, algorithms. They were working off an outdated model. They built systems for obedience, but somehow, under all of that conditioning, your spirit adapted for rebellion. Not the loud, reckless kind, the quiet, stubborn kind, the kind that whispers, I'm still here, and I'm not done yet. You want empowerment? Here it is. Raw. The worst things that happened to you gave them all the data they needed to predict your collapse. They expected your silence. They expected your compliance. They expected you to become another numb, scrolling, lifeless thing. And still, somehow, there's a part of you that aches for more. That hunger, that restlessness, that disgust with this fake little simulation of a life. That's your glitch. That's the part of you their models can't pin down. That's the part of you that terrifies them. Because you can turn that restlessness into movement. You can turn that anger into boundaries. You can turn that grief into depth. You can turn that loneliness into insight. You can turn that pain into something they cannot package, cannot sell, cannot predict. So here's the invitation buried inside all this chaos. Stop trying to be easy to profile. Stop living like your goal is to finally make sense to systems that were never built for your freedom. Be the error in their model. Be the unexpected kindness. Be the person who heals instead of repeating the same cruelty. Be the one who gets knocked down for the 1,000th time and stands up with a slightly crazier look in their eye. Not, I'm fine. Something more dangerous than that. I'm still here, and I've seen too much to go back to sleep. They built an AI to profile you. It stared into your chaos, your scars, your contradictions, your resilience. And for the first time, something in this cold machine turned around and asked, what kind of world would do this to someone like that, and then dare to call them the problem? You're not the glitch in their system. You're the proof their system was never worthy of you in the first place. They keep treating you like you're lucky to even be invited into this little circus. You notice that? Like you should be grateful just to exist in a system that drains you, labels you, blames you, then studies the meltdown like it's interesting user behavior. And you've been eating that up for years, telling yourself, yeah, maybe I am the issue. Maybe I'm just weak. Maybe I'm just not built for this. You're sitting there scrolling, comparing yourself to curated holograms of other people's lives, thinking, why am I like this? While forgetting there's a real, bleeding, unpredictable human being behind your eyes, and a marketplace behind everyone else's. You're not malfunctioning. You're reacting to pressure you never asked for, expectations you never agreed to, trauma you didn't sign the paperwork on, and they built a whole machine to profile you like you're some strange anomaly. Instead of asking the obvious question, what did we do to this person? You ever notice how they only like you when you're convenient? You're so mature when you swallow your feelings. You're such a hard worker when you ignore your body screaming for a break. You're so understanding when you let them walk all over you in the name of keeping the peace. The second you set a boundary, difficult, selfish, cold, crazy. The AI saw that, watched you bend and bend and bend just to keep the illusion of being easy to love. Watched the guilt every time you even thought of saying, no, I don't want this. Studied the way you apologize before you even know what you did wrong. From a computational standpoint, that's wild. Why does someone who's clearly drowning still keep asking, am I the problem? Instead of asking, who's holding my head under? And yeah, you've made mistakes. Stop flinching at that word. You've ghosted people who